Well, hello. This is part 2 of the Epstein video that CoffeeZilla made. If you guys want to watch the original video, it is in the link below. Let's just get right into the video.
Can't fully embrace the Epstein thing. They have to kind of make it about more than that. And if you see the YouTube clip going around, that's what that is. And it's been so interesting to watch the reaction because you see, even for people who've been prepped with the idea that this is basically propaganda, some of them still fall for it. They post things like, bro is casually confirming the world's conspiracies because he's talking about 2008. But guys, that's the whole deception. They're like trying to be like, hey, this guy, this horrible monster, he's going to tell you the secrets of the inside club. So you think more, that's the whole thing. That's how they're getting away with this. It's not some kind of, oh, he happened to want to talk about this. This is all premeditated. This has gone through revisions. They even called Jeffrey Epstein the smartest guy in the room.
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room, right? You know that.
Bro, when I first heard him talk, I was like, yo, yeah, this dude's a weirdo. Like, that was my first inclination of just like his whole mannerisms as well. I was like, yeah, this dude's a weirdo. This guy's a grade A S tier cursed spirit.
It's honestly ridiculous anyone believes the false weirdo. You're obviously the smartest man in the room. You could tell us the world's secrets. I mean, this guy, honestly, he talks about some of his engagements, like with the Rockefeller board, and he tries to say that owning a calculator is why he got that.
It was very advanced in those days to have a Texas Instrument calculator where it could, by putting in the numbers, it would multiply for you to do square roots. And that was the first, and everyone who had a calculator was already advanced on Wall Street. The most important parts of business were really now going to calculations. Places like Rockefeller needed someone to say,
shut up.
We are entering a different world where numbers and the numbers of companies, portfolio management was going to be balanced. It was going to be statistical. Jeffrey, could you come on the board, potentially sit on the finance committee?
So we're honestly supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein got onto this prestigious Rockefeller board because he had a calculator, but also that he's the smartest guy in the room, the smartest man on Wall Street.
Guys, let me show you something here. Let me show you something real crazy. You guys won't believe it. Okay. I'm about to blow your fucking mind, your keister. You see this right here? You look at it? You looking at this? This right here? This alone? This shit got me into NASA, bitch. I build rockets all day. You want to know why? Because I have this. You understand? I have now became the emperor of the universe due to the fact that I can do 1 + 1 on this motherfucker right here. Do you understand? I have solved quantum entanglement and all of the universe's problems, and now I have been the hierarchy of the universe due to the fact that I now have a calculator on my phone. Give me trillions of dollars. Not billions, not millions, trillions with a T. Let's go up to a Q, quadrillion. Are you joking? Are you joking right now? You pulled out a calculator and now you're a billionaire? Man, look.
And let's not talk about those horrific crimes
Let me play this shit before I get mad.
He's not really such a bad guy after all. But it wasn't just Steve Bannon that was trying to humanize or giving advice on how to humanize Epstein. It was also Richard Branson, the famous billionaire. He was caught emailing Jeffrey Epstein saying, "Dear Jeffrey, it was really nice seeing you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you are in the area, would love to see you as long as you bring your harem." I don't know, that's not that ambiguous, guys. I think we can imagine what that means. But anyways, he says, 1, I think if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago by sleeping with a 17-and-a-half-year-old and were punished for it, that you've more than learned your lesson and have done nothing that's against the law since. And yes, as a single man, you have a penchant for women, but there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, something along those lines. He's giving him PR advice. How to get your reputation back. Hey, Jeffrey, privately, I loved you. You can come back anytime with your harem. Jeffrey Epstein responds, nice seeing you. Thanks for your hospitality. I appreciate your public relations thoughts. Now, according to the New York Times, a Branson representative said the two had a business meeting and stressed the women were adults and had not attended the meeting. All above board. That's what everyone says, by the way. Remember what Elon Musk said, right? That's the playbook. Admit nothing, deny everything. Speaking of, remember Howard Lutnick, who we showed on video saying that he had never seen Epstein since 2005.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy.
And this is the neighbor. This is the neighbor I was talking about. Isn't this him? This is him, right? If you don't get your freaky...
That guy was there. I wasn't going because he's gross.
Although also calling him the greatest blackmailer ever.
This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Well, also according to the Times, Lutnick said he spent zero time with him, even though there are emails basically to the contrary, where Epstein is saying, nice seeing you after the conviction. I mean, these people, not only are they lying, they won't even admit when they've been caught lying. But now let's talk about Prince Andrew, too.
Whoa.
Who was caught lying over a woman at some kind of a party.
Yo, this is crazy, buddy. But yeah. This angle being caught in the seal pose, gang. You look nuts. Yo ass look crazy. Yeah, you've been fighting them demons for a long time. It's time to get baptized by him, buddy. All right, it's time to go see the devil gang. You know. This whole pose is absolutely nuts, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Just not a good. This is not doing you any favors, you know. I know Prince Andrew soon will probably be on the comeback tour. It's going to be a bunch of highly paid PR execs. Maybe Steve Bannon can jump in, shoot another 5-hour podcast trying to rehabilitate him. Like, Prince Andrew, what's the secret behind the royal family?
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room.
But again, has he admitted anything? Has he denied everything? Now, we should also probably talk about Noam Chomsky as well, the guy behind the book Manufacturing Consent, which in hindsight, maybe we should have suspected something. But either way, he also sends some reputational advice to his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. He says, I watched the horrible way you've been treated by the press and public. It's painful to say, but I think the best way to proceed is to ignore it. When the vultures dearly want is a public response, which then provides a public opening. In general, I think it's best not to react unless directly questioned, particularly in the current mood. That's the best advice I can think of. Noam. Now, he sends that to Matthew Hiltzik of Hiltzik Strategies, who is a also famous PR guy, I guess, trying to help Epstein, I assume, who responds, I think that is wise. Now, later talking with Bannon, Epstein loops in Hiltzik again. He says, Matt Hiltzik thought your idea was epic. Hypocrisy of the liberal left. And he says, yep, he would confidentially like to sit and help if you like. This is Matthew Hiltzik. You know, a lot of powerful people basically were bending over backwards, left, right, center, trying to rehabilitate this guy's image. And the question is, why? Why were all these guys so interested in their precious Jeffrey Epstein if they had no involvement? I mean, that's the part I can't figure out it. Because all of them deny it. All of them don't admit anything. And so what exactly is the problem? But now it's time to talk about Elon Musk's brother, Kimble Musk. He was also in the files. Jeffrey was copied on an email talking about Kimble's 40th birthday, where the password to the secret party was riot. And then in all caps, Boris, the sender of this email, says, I am not joking about the password. This was in 2012 in September. Now that's important because a little bit later, Kimble Musk is emailing Boris Nikolic and Jeffrey Epstein, and he's talking to them about being connected with some redacted name and saying, I believe you both played a role, whatever that means. Now, whether this was at the party or, you know, right after their meeting in October, I don't know. But what's interesting is Boris responds and says, Kimble, just FYI, you better be nice to redacted. Jeffrey goes crazy when someone mistreats his girls/friends, so better be very nice to her. Kimble Musk responds, message received, wide and clear. Then he says, seriously, I'm very happy with my time so far with Jennifer. She's great. Now, again, was that supposed to be a redacted name we just read? Like, I don't know. They've been redacting it in earlier emails. Then all of a sudden you just get Jennifer. I can't really figure that out. But what I can figure out is that a little while later, a few days later, Jeffrey Epstein gets an email. Now, we know Kimble credits.
When they were talking about emails, right? I thought that they were using like servers to send, like not like Google. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all Gmails and X, Y, and Z. I was not thinking that they were using Gmail and things of that nature to send emails. I thought it was like on a private server somewhere, secured off. You know what I'm saying? That was my idea of like them sending emails. But now that I'm looking at it, it's just like Gmail. What the fuck are we? I don't know. It's just like I would think it would be more secure or something because they're like villains. They're all villains, like Batman. You think Batman would send out normal emails? No. You think any villain would send out normal emails? No. They're using like Proton Mail or 10-minute mail to send like an encrypted message and it's getting deleted. That was my idea. But the fact that they're using Gmail like casually back and forth is kind of frying my shit.
The meetup and says Boris and Epstein were responsible in some way for this. But now Jeffrey Epstein's being emailed about Jin's schedule. Is that Jennifer? I mean, it seems like it because Jin's schedule for the rest of the year, and it seems like the assistant has copy and pasted Jin's response because she says, Sue, these would be dates in November, and then starts saying, she can go to New York. She says the 29th to the 7th, she's free. Kimble to New York. Then she says, Kimble, Jin, London. Kimble, Jin, London to Morocco, ? Then she has a break, and then it's Jin, Kimble, St. Bart's. Assuming we're not sick of each other by the end of November. Now, I can't figure out why is she running this schedule about when she's hanging out with Kimble, who Jeffrey set her up with. Like, why is she running this by Elon Musk? To be clear, I don't know. There could be, I guess, innocent explanations for this. Maybe, I don't know. But all I see are constant, powerful people either being introed to girls, talking about the harem, talking about beautiful ladies, and the FBI, they can't figure it out. They have no evidence to even investigate third parties. Why? I guess because they're rich and powerful. Around the world, we're seeing resignations. We're seeing people lose their status. But here in the United States, we've got like multiple presidents in the files. We've got the world's richest man in the files, several of the world's richest men in the files, and we just can't drum up any kind of evidence. It's just incredible to me.
Which is wild. It's all there. It's all there.
Now, I also want to talk about another rich and powerful person, and that is Peter Attia. He's a podcast bro.
And his head is strong as hell. He got like a hammerhead shark head. Like his shit, like how the fuck your head got a point at the top? Like his head like is sharp. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry. It's just his head is it got a real point to the mouth, like you know what I'm saying, like one of these, you know what I'm saying, that like it's strong, like you can like you may be able to like craft like a rock on that motherfucker, smooth it out. I got jump scared.
Longevity expert, and actually, funny enough, I read his book, and that's gonna come into play here in a second because oh boy, did I get some additional context. But let's start here with something that Peter Attia sent Jeffrey Epstein. He says, subject, got a fresh shipment. And then Epstein responds, me too, and there's a completely redacted image. Is that a girl? Is this bad redactions? We don't know, although we'll find out in a second because later Peter responded to this. But Peter says, please tell me you found that picture online. Jeffrey responds, got a fresh shipment, afraid not. Peter responds, the biggest problem with becoming friends with you. The life you lead is so outrageous, yet I can't tell a soul. Why, Peter? Why can't you tell a soul? Why don't you tell us now? Now that it's all out in the open, why don't you tell us why you can't tell a soul? The secrets or the life that Epstein leads. And then we get another redacted photo, right? And then some more images. And Peter says, please tell me that's not where you actually are. And Jeffrey says, you can see the gym in the middle, just me and 4. And Peter says, I think you might have a more interesting life than the Dos Equis guy. Is this off the coast of France? No, it's my island in the Caribbean near St. Thomas. If you go to Google Earth and type in Little St. James. Beautiful. Isn't that nice? Behind closed doors, it's beautiful. In public, we'll hear about what a monster this guy is, right? But behind closed doors, when nobody's watching, it's beautiful. There's some other stuff Peter Attia said, which I'm not going to get into. I don't think it's very, appropriate for medical professionals to be saying such things. But, this wasn't all business, right? This wasn't just doctor-patient kind of stuff. There's a lot of guy talk, a lot of banter between the fellas about ladies. And maybe that's why Peter Attia says that hopefully Jeffrey Epstein is in town when I'm back in 2 weeks. I go into Jeffrey Epstein withdrawal when I don't see him.
What?
So guys, these two were close.
You go into withdrawal. Buddy starts having a seizure if he doesn't see Jeffrey and the freaky game in the crew, the freaky gang in the game. What is he? Crack, meth, heroin. And if you don't stay your freaky asshole.
I mean, apparently so close that Peter Attia goes into withdrawal when he doesn't see him. Peter Attia says, "Are you on island?"
That's
Jeffrey
just a
Epstein
wild
says,
sentence
"P
to
Beach,
say.
probably Palm Beach." And he says, "What do you do when you get there?" Jeffrey Epstein, "Guess." Peter Attia, "Besides that," I mean, they're not even trying to hide it, guys. This is barely code at this point. What do you do? Guess. Well, besides that, Jeffrey, we know what you do, right? So it's so funny that the FBI is like, we don't know. We can't tell what's out there. We have no evidence, right? No evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties and then proceed to dump on us a ton of evidence. At least to investigate, right? I'm not saying these people are guilty. Obviously, all of them deny, don't admit, blame other people, say other people are responsible for everything. So that is taken as a given. I am not accusing anyone here. I'm just saying, seems like we got a few leads here, fellas. Some people to look at. Now, I want to address the fact that Peter Attia has actually responded to this whole debacle. He says the following email is what I sent my team last night. I sent a similar version to my patients as well. You put your trust, your credibility, your hard work, what we built together, and I take that responsibility seriously. You deserve a complete and honest account of what did and did not happen. I apologize. I did not get this out sooner. I wanted to be thorough. He says, I was not involved in any criminal activity.
Nigga, stop it. The moment I saw number one, I was not involved in any criminal activity. Stop it. Stop it. Bro said, you need an honest and clear account. And the first thing he says was, I was not involved in any criminal activity. Get a load of this guy. Get a load of this guy. Pal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get a load of this fucking guy. No, you 9 times out of 10, you probably were. Okay, this is why it does, you get caught in 90,000 K and proceed to still double down and lie, gang. Is
actions had nothing to do with his abuse or exploitation of anyone. I was never on his plane, never on his island, never present at any parties. That said, I apologize and regret putting.
Bro said he has withdrawals when he doesn't see Epstein. Get a load of this guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop, bro.
Myself in a position where
man.
Emails, some of them embarrassing, tasteless, and indefensible, are now public. So it's this apology. He addresses some of the things. And he says that some of it's just banter, right? Like I said, it's just guy talk, whatever that means. He claims that his got a fresh shipment was in reference to a photograph of bottles of metformin, and then Jeffrey responded with a photograph of an adult woman. I responded with crude, tasteless banter. He says one line in that exchange about his life being outrageous and me not being able to tell anyone is being interpreted as awareness of wrongdoing. That's not how I meant it at all. What I was referring to poorly and flippantly was the discretion commanded by those socials and professional circles. The idea you don't talk about who you meet. I don't know, Peter. This seems like revisionist history a little bit. I mean, personally, to me, as I'm viewing this, third hand, right? Just from the outsider perspective. Now, Peter says he did ask Jeffrey about his 2008 conviction because all this happened afterwards, right? He characterized it as prostitution-related charges. In 2018, I learned that this was grossly minimized. I was incredibly naive to believe him, and then later explains that in 2018, November, he read the Miami Herald investigative article, told him he needed to accept responsibility for what he did, and said he even asked Epstein to provide therapy to Epstein's victims, which is an interesting approach to.
Bro, like I said, bro, niggas will lie so hard when they get caught, gang. Like, it's crazy, gang. It's crazy. You're done. Pack it up, bro. You did not say all this, bro. You were still trying to go to the island.
Have here. Now, the funny thing is, there are some more emails between Peter Attia that we need to read, because remember that he said he read this 2018 article from the Miami Herald. I believe it's this one by Julia K. Brown in November 28th. It's about Jeffrey Epstein assembling a large cult-like network of underage girls. But in December, Peter Attia says, home is very good, work stressful, making some changes. He asks him, what's the fallout from the recent story? Apparently talking about the Miami Herald. Now, maybe I just didn't see the emails, that where he was demanding accountability. I don't know what that's about. But Jeffrey Epstein says, same as usual, just tougher. Peter Attia says, legally, any change. Jeffrey Epstein, 0. So, I don't know. Maybe this whole, you got to provide therapy to, these victims happened. I haven't seen it yet. I definitely could see it. But it's just kind of shocking. I just kind of don't buy it. Like the whole, is there any change legally? That more sounds like you're covering yourself. I mean, just to be honest. But maybe I could look past all of that if not for the thing we're about to see, which just in my mind is maybe the worst thing I've seen in the files. Not for its, explicitness, the amount of simping that people did for Jeffrey Epstein. Now they all say, oh, it was a personal mistake, blah, blah, blah. I regret it. I didn't look into it enough. But the level is just, you've never seen anything like it. So remember I said I read a book by Peter Attia. It was called Outlive, and he's supposed to be this doctor who knows a lot about longevity. So he writes it, and I picked it up because at the rate we're getting rid of these crimes, I need to live forever in order to try to stop some of these scams. But as I pick up this book, and one of the things in the book is Peter Attia kind of reflecting internally about how he's kind of been a bit, and I'm paraphrasing here, but a bit of a psycho in his life, and he needed to focus on family stuff. And so he it's almost a confessional of some embarrassing things in his life. And honestly, it comes off as very vulnerable, very self-reflective. He's this doctor telling other people what to do, but he's not a very good patient. That's kind of how it comes off. And one of the stories is awful. I won't go too much into it, but basically his son has this horrible medical emergency. It's described in this book like this. A few months ago, Tuesday, July 11th, 2017, that date is important. At 5:45 to be exact, I received a call from Jill, my wife. She was in an ambulance with our infant son. Now, again, I'm not going to get into the details here because, it's tragic and I'm not trying to bring that into it. What is relevant is that Peter Attia talks about how he stayed in New York and didn't show up because he was, quote, busy with his important work. Even today, just thinking about what happened, I feel nauseous about my behavior. I can't believe I did that to my family. Now, at the time I read that and I was like, well, it's at least as good that you self-reflected on that. It's horrible, but, you were a bit of a psycho. But what's crazy, now we find out some of the important work, it's a little unclear, but some of the important work may have been Jeffrey Epstein, which is just
no.
It's so dark to imagine. Remember, he says July 11th, 2017 is when this all happened. And then he says he did not come home to San Diego until Friday the following week, 10 days later. So July 11th, 2017, 2 days after this happens, he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein. And they seem to be coordinating about something. Sure, what time? Jeffrey Epstein, 9:30. Peter Attia responds, sure, I can come earlier. Also, if you have a hard stop at 10, let me know. You're hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein? I don't even know what to say. This is out of pocket. There's no explanation for this. I didn't see this in the response from Peter. Maybe he thinks he addresses it because he already admitted that was like scummy, but that is just. There's a reason that didn't make it in the book, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't see that in the book when I read it. I was actually, one of the things I needed to do, my important work was seeing or talking to Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that weird? Like, that's the simping that I'm talking about, is these people love this guy. Or that's how it seems to me. Like, what are all these rich and powerful people doing, protecting him, missing emergencies for Jeffrey, fawning over Jeffrey, asking for Jeffrey's harem, saying their biggest problem is the life they lead is so outrageous they can't tell us all. What is going on here? And is it true they all didn't know, right? Because, I'm reading these documents and it's hard to say who exactly knew what, when, but I don't believe, remember, they're all denying it. I don't believe nobody knew, right? Clearly, some people knew what was going on. And there's all this kind of coded language in the files where they talk about this stuff almost in like a nudge kind of way. I mean, here's some Woody Allen stuff. He was in the files. He says his business...
They all knew. It's as simple as that. They all knew. They all knew. They're all co-conspirating with each other. It's like I said earlier. It's the Fight Club thing. The first thing you talk, the first rule in Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about it.
You can make out the check to me. It looks very bad because then it looks like a gift to me. He says that to Epstein. He says, I don't want to be one of your women, or should I say, girls. And what's that? Oh, how do we? Come on, guys. Woody says, I would be much more expensive than your girls. You wouldn't be able to afford me. Jeffrey responds, yes, the price to pay would be too high. Woody says, this will be a beautiful friendship. And then Jeffrey says, as long as I follow orders, smiley face. Woody Allen sends a message saying Woody says the exact same thing, but in a dirtier way. Jeffrey responds, what did he say? Woody Allen, are you kidding? I can't put it in writing. I mean, no evidence, no evidence. How? Come on, I think I see a little bit of evidence. I'm squinting, but I think
9 million files and no evidence, bitch, please. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit sounds stupid. Gang, 9 million documents and no evidence? What? Huh?
Can see a little bit of evidence. I mean, guys.
Let a nigga have 4 documents of things in writing. I'm cooked. You know what I'm saying? 9 million documents? Not one shred of evidence. Right. Got it. Makes sense. Yes, got it.
Like Jeffrey Epstein right here, where he's talking to a guy. He says, Paris with Woody. And the person responds, for le pedophile convention. And Jeffrey says, I think pedophile is the plural. I mean, no evidence. I mean, is that no evidence? It's nothing. We don't even want to question these people. There's no investigations going on. So, yeah, it's honestly really sad to see how, look, I'm not saying people around the world are having crazy consequences, but a few people are resigning, thank goodness. A few people are at least facing a little bit of scrutiny, but here Elon Musk lays out the playbook, apparently for our guys. We admit nothing, we deny everything, and we blame others. We just push the spotlight onto other people. And unfortunately, that's what you've seen the whole time from all the people in the files. All of them say, oh, I was so happy these files came out. It's about shining accountability and justice for the victims, but I had nothing to do with it. Okay, so then where's the justice for the victims? Right. So nobody, all of you say somebody else had something to do with it, but everybody says nobody had anything to do with it. The FBI says they don't have any other, investigations, any other kind of leads, despite the fact we have one of the procurers of the women just walking free, apparently, like no charges against him. Have we investigated him? I mean, it's just shocking how much the Epstein files show the powerful, how they protect their own, how so many of them knew what was going on to the extent they found out later. A lot of them tried to protect Epstein, like literally make PR campaigns for his reputation. And this is a dark look at the state of the world, honestly, because Epstein happened a while ago, but the reason everyone cares is because there's other Epsteins around, right? There's other people evading accountability all the time. There's other people that this band of billionaires and power brokers and PR people, even lawmakers, they circle the wagons and protect their own to the point you can never get accountability for anything. So Anyway, that's it. It's a hard look at the Epstein files, but it's one we needed to do. But I want to make the disclaimer once again that, look, I've tried to read people's individual denials where I could, but you should just assume everyone that we are talking about firmly denies any kind of criminal wrongdoing. They deny anything untowards about any kind of minors. And given the fact that our government doesn't seem to want to investigate anyone, I would just assume everybody here is completely clear. And so I want to get all those caveats in here because we are talking about some very powerful people with enormous means. And I don't want to be seen as I'm saying stuff. I'm reading the files. I'm giving my personal opinion. But ultimately, this is an indictment of our FBI and the people in power. And that's what I think the Epstein files have really shown us. This has been a long road. Can you believe it all started over here? And we have come all this way with all these files coming out. And it seems like the question is on the table. Are there going to be consequences?
Is there any chance that any
No.
of these individuals
No.
who partied with Epstein and engaged in, relations with minors will be prosecuted?
Well,
Any
look,
chance?
I'll never say no, and we will always investigate any evidence of misconduct. But as you know, it is not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein, and so as horrible as it's not a crime to email with Mr. Epstein. And some of these men may have done horrible things, and if we have evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But it's also the kind of thing that the American people need to understand, that it isn't a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. It isn't a crime to have
Didn't look like that's all that was going on some of those photos. I mean, if the photos could speak, some of them look pretty bad.
That's right. And unfortunately, photos can't speak.
That's the video, guys. That's the entirety of the video. If you guys want to watch the original video, I'm gonna say this there's probably gonna be some parts of this video that come out before the full thing, because this is about almost an hour of recording, so it's probably gonna be like 3 parts, 20 minutes each. If you guys want to watch the original video, link in the description below. I want to wrap up my thoughts right now. I think that, listen, okay. Let me be very careful with my words, because I don't got listen. I don't got enough money to go up against a billionaire in a lawsuit, nigga. I don't. Okay. All of this information is absolutely crazy. There's 9 million documents plus photos plus emails. I think that's enough to possibly highly convict somebody on with evidence of wrongdoing. That's my own opinion. I am not saying that these people are guilty. All I am saying is, throughout the information that's been laid out to me, in my personal opinion, some people look guilty. I'm not gonna lie. It's very hard not to see it like that in my own perspective. But besides all that, this whole thing is crazy. It's a whole fiasco. It's a whole game, and I am very interested to see how deep the rabbit hole gets, because this is really just the beginning. It really is. And it's kind of weird that there's no beginning to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is technically a beginning, but we have not yet to reveal start to finish of what that looks like. We have a lot of stuff that's kind of out of context, but within the realms of context of doing crimes and things of that nature. But the context still needs to be added it's probably obviously in there within the 9 million pages of documents that came out from start to finish. If we line it up from start to finish, it's probably I would assume that there's a lot of context in between that. But everything that we know now, there's some people that definitely look guilty in my eyes. But besides all that, that's all I think about this entire situation. I think there are some people that need to get prosecuted and put in the slammer. But besides all that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow the Twitch, and don't get caught up in these files. I'm just very interested to see how far the rabbit hole really goes. But besides all that, man, hope you guys take it easy. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully, we get some more information coming out. Let me know if you guys like these reaction videos as well.